Hey guys, what's going on? It's your man Boris, and welcome to another episode of the TBScouts podcast. And today, at the time of this recording, is Wednesday, March the 2nd. And I'm going to be reviewing a game that I attended and filmed yesterday. On Tuesday, March 1st, I filmed Boene Champion versus Buda Johnson. This was for the regional quarterfinals in playoffs. That was round 3 of playoffs. And Boene Champion was able to walk away with another dub, y'all. So they move on to round 4. Yesterday's game versus Buda Johnson was a pretty good game. It got kind of close there towards the end. Going into the game, I was real optimistic because Champion had already beaten Buda Johnson 2 times before. One time they beat him by like 20 points. Another time they beat him, by like 10 or, something like that, 15 something. But so I didn't think it was going to be a blowout, but I definitely thought Champion was going to get an easy win. But it didn't really turn out that way. But they got a comfortable win. The final score, according to what everyone was posting on like Twitter and everything, they posted a final score of 61-56. Boene Champion being the winner. But something interesting, I found something very, very interesting. So some of you may know that I run stats. I have people that run stats for TBScouts professionally. And when we went back and reviewed the game, we noticed that the score was wrong. The final score should have really been 61-55. So when I'm referencing these numbers in this podcast, I'm going to, like when I do the summary and everything, I'm just going to say the final score was 61-55. And you might ask, well, what do you mean the score was wrong? I went back and I watched the film again multiple times. What happened was, it's real interesting. If you look at the end of the second period, going into halftime, the score was 29-20. But if you watch the game at the beginning of the third quarter, they added an extra point to Buda Johnson, and they gave that point to player number 5. And I think what they did was they counted his second basket that he made. They counted it as a 3-pointer, even though it was a 2-pointer. And what happened was when he shot that 2-point shot, he moved back, and they probably thought it was a 3-pointer. But I went back and I watched the film, y'all. If you look, player number 5 on Buda Johnson, he only made 2 baskets in the first half. One was a reverse layup. And then the second one he made when there was like less than 2 minutes left in the second period, he made another layup. But if you look at go back and watch the film and look at the scoreboard, before the half, they said player number 5 had 4 points. And then at the very beginning of the third, when they all came back from the locker room, somebody snuck an extra point on the board, and they said player number 5 on Buda Johnson had 5 points. So that's very interesting. We're in playoff basketball, and we shouldn't be having any scoring discrepancies. Now, again, this is my analysis. Obviously, I'm not Max Preps, and I don't, run the league, and whoever reports those numbers. But I'm curious that when Buda Johnson added that extra point during the halftime break, if they consulted with Boene Champion, with the coaches there, to go back and see if that point was justified to be added to Buda Johnson. We're in playoff basketball season. Every point counts, and you can't be messing up on the score. So if you go to Max Preps or whatever right now, or look at what everyone's posting, they're going to post a final score of 61-56. But after my team ran stats and analysis, the actual score was 61-55. And I have the video proof to show you that Buda Johnson added an extra point to player number 5 during the halftime break. But with all that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into the numbers for the top scorers. On Boene Champion, The leading scorer was Braden Baum. He came in with 27 points. His overall stats, he had 27 points. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and he was 10 for 15 from the field. The second leading scorer is actually a two-way tie between Jesse Pert and Owen Tate. They both had 10 points this last game. Looking at Jesse's stat line, Jesse had 10 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, and Jesse was 4 for 14 from the field. He was 4 for 8 on 2 points, on 2-point field goals, and he made it to the line a couple of times. He was 2 for 2 on his free throws made. So, again, Jesse's stats: 10 points, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 3 rebounds. And then the third, or the person that also had 10 points, was Owen Tate. And Owen had 10 points, 2 rebounds, and he was 3 for 4 overall from the field. It was interesting to see Owen. I saw him make a couple of 2-point field goals this last game, actually driving the ball, which is kind of unlike Owen. Everybody knows that he's an excellent 3-point shooter. So it was kind of interesting to see him actually take a couple of drives. But overall, champion, they played very well and walked away with the dub. So now they get to move on to round 4 of the playoffs, semifinals. So looking at Buda Johnson now for their team, their leading scorers in first place was number 4, Jackson Vandergaard. He had 17 points. Jackson had 17 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 rebound. And the next leading scorer is number 3, Sam Mckinney. Sam had 13 points, 2 assists. 2 assists, 5 rebounds, and 1 block for Sam Mckinney. Overall, he was 4 for 7 from the field. And the third leading scorer for Buda Johnson was number 35, Quentin Hairston. He came in with 12 points, and Quentin had 1 assist, 6 rebounds, and 1 steal. So looking at the points table breakdown per quarter, in the first quarter, Boene Champion came out really strong. They outscored Buda Johnson 19-8. In the second quarter, Buda Johnson kind of came and fought back. They outscored Champion 12-10. And then in the third quarter, Champion outscored Buda Johnson 20-18. And then in the fourth quarter, when things were getting kind of close, Buda Johnson outscored Boene Champion 17-12. With, I guess, the official score, which was reported, between the schools, was 61-56. But actually, there was an error on the scores table. So the actual score should have been 61-55. And like I said, I don't know how big of a deal that makes. That's just 1 point. But it is interesting that we're in playoff basketball. You can't be messing up on the scores table. And I went back and watched the film. So if for any reason anyone wants me to show them exactly what I'm talking about, where that error took place and where they kind of, I don't want to say that they kind of snuck the extra point in during the halftime, but that's kind of what happened. They gave an extra point to number 5. But anyways, it was a great game, good effort by both teams. Champion, I could tell that the team was excited that they got that victory and very excited to see them move on to round 4 of the playoffs. So they're going to be playing the regional semifinals this Friday, which is going to be March 4th. They play at 5:30 p.m. over at the Blossom Athletic Center. And here's a quick little hack for you guys if you're trying to figure out how to get tickets, because it's funny that all of these games now you have to buy the tickets online, but nobody ever really posts the links. Sometimes there's some parents and stuff that will post the link. So thank you for posting the links ahead of time so people can go in there and get the tickets instead of having to wait till you like get to the door. But here's a hack. If you go to TicketSpicket, all you have to do is go to the search and just type in regional. And when you type in regional, it's going to bring up regional and state events for NEISD. That's, Northeast Independent School District, that's where the Blossom Athletic Center is. And if you click on the regional and state events, you'll see the links for the tickets for this Friday's game. So I went ahead and already got mine. The schools, I don't know, but they raised the prices. The price just went up. I paid $10 just now for these high school basketball tickets. So I don't know if that's normal that when you get to the semifinals, they increase the price, but it was $5 for a ticket last week and it's $10 for a ticket now. So maybe that's normal, or maybe they just trying to get them extra dollars like everybody else. But anyways, great job, Boene Champion and the team. Guys, good luck this Friday when you play. And they play against McAllen this Friday, 5:30 p.m. at the Blossom Athletic Center. So good job, and keep up the good fight, guys, and hopefully you guys keep the streak going. But thanks for tuning into this episode of the TB Scouts podcast. Y'all stay tuned for more coverage of the high school playoffs going on. Also, I want to give a shout out to another one of my players, one of the guys that I'm working with, Big Rob Jackson over at Brennan High School. His school is still in the playoffs as well. So Brennan, they have a game on Friday as well. Good luck to you guys. And Big Rob Jackson, who's like one of the leading rebounders in the city, 6'7", over at Brennan High School, class of 2023. Hope you have a good game as well. And, Coach Cody Cowgill over there at Brennan, hopefully you have a good winning streak that continues. But thanks again, guys, for tuning in. And we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.